The tour company Holy Land Treasure specializes in bringing organized groups and tourists for pilgrimages, vacations, business, and recreational trips in Israel, all of which are accompanied by professional guides and some of the most comfortable and pleasing accommodations, catering, and transportation services available, tailored to fit every demand and every budget. A Christian pilgrim visiting the Holy Land with Holy Land Treasure will experience all facets of religious excitement. Following the path of Jesus with his own 2 feet, travel from Bethlehem via the Galilee to Jerusalem. Be baptized in the Jordan River where John baptized the Son of God. Touch Mount Calvary, upon which Jesus was crucified, and visit the Mount of Olives where he ascended to heaven. Nazareth, where on the bank of a spring, the angel Gabriel announced to the Virgin Mary that she had been chosen out of all women to bear the Son of God. True to custom, the pregnant Mary rushes to Ein Karim in Jerusalem to share the news of the miracle with her cousin Elizabeth, who was carrying John the Baptist at the time. The 2 holy women meet on the banks of Mary's well.
Mary, because the next thing he said, behold, I saw the woman clothed with his son. Now, she's the Ark of the New Covenant.
Jesus was born in a manger amongst cows and donkeys, while his parents were hurrying back to Bethlehem, their family city. 2,000 years ago, the Star of Bethlehem shone over the city, leading kings from all over the world to bow before the holy infant. When King Herod found out about the birth of Jesus, he ordered him to be put to death, and the Holy Family escapes to Egypt. When calm returned to the Holy Land, Jesus and his parents take up residence once again in the city of Nazareth in the Galilee. Their house can still be seen to this day at the heart of the Basilica of the Annunciation in Nazareth. Jesus accompanies his mother to a joyous wedding in the city of Cana, where he graciously reveals his abilities as the Son of God for the first time by turning water to wine. With the Spirit of God within him, Jesus goes to be purified in the Jordan River. He is baptized by the man John the Baptist, while a voice from heaven declared Jesus the Son of God.
Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
From the Jordan River, Jesus was led by the Spirit into the desert, where for 40 days and 40 nights he resists the temptations of the devil and returns to the shores of the Sea of Galilee. Here, in Capernaum, he meets his disciples and begins the gospel journey. For 3 years, Jesus proves the greatness of God through sermons and miracles. Sick people from all over the Galilee come to be healed by him. He grants atonement for sins, exorcises demons, and proves the power of belief to St. Peter by walking on water. Jesus words the prayer, Our Father, for the first time during his sermon on the Mount of Beatitudes.
Rejoice.
At the end of the sermon, Jesus miraculously turns 2 fish and 4 loaves of bread into a feast which feeds all 5,000 of his listeners. The time has come. Jesus and his disciples leave for Jerusalem. Passover is nearing, and they are making a pilgrimage to the Holy Temple. On a dark night in the Galilee, Jesus and 2 of his disciples ascend Mount Tabor, where the transfiguration of Jesus occurs, witnessed by Moses and the prophet Elijah. Jesus and his disciples reach the Mount of Olives, overlooking the holy city, where sadness descends on his face, and he predicts the destruction of Jerusalem and the Holy Temple. Surrounded by large crowds crying Hosanna, Jesus enters the gates of Jerusalem on a white donkey, teaching and giving lessons. When he reached the walls of the Holy Temple, he was horrified. In the holiest of places, at the entrance to the house of God, he sees that the place has been turned into a market of sorts, where different merchants offer their wares to those coming to the Holy Temple. Distraught, Jesus turns over the merchants' and money changers' tables, then leaves. Maundy Thursday, evening, the Last Supper. Jesus is with his disciples and says his last words. Eat the bread, for this is my body. Drink the wine, for this is my blood. He reveals that one of them will betray him and cause his crucifixion. Night descends on Jerusalem and Gethsemane. Jesus, in his infinite loneliness, accepts his fate from his Father in heaven and, kissed by Judas Iscariot, is handed over to the priests and the Romans. Good Friday, at dawn, Jesus is led to be tried by Pontius Pilate, the Roman prefect. There, in front of the crowds, he is whipped wearing a humiliating crown of thorns and sentenced to be crucified. A cross was placed on the back of the Son of God, and he walked the way of suffering, Via Dolorosa, in which he fell, agonized, prophesied the destruction of Jerusalem, tripped and lamented the fate of the daughters of Jerusalem and their children. The Church of the Holy Sepulchre, situated on the terrible Mount Calvary, tells us about the last hours of Jesus, the Messiah, the Son of God, who was crucified there and returned his soul to his Father in heaven. Jesus was taken off the crucifix, anointed with oil, and brought to burial. After 3 days had passed, both Marys came to mourn him, and there, the angel Gabriel informed them that this was not where the body of Jesus was, since he had risen from death and resurrected. Intense excitement, spiritual elevation, connection to the real living source are experienced by those who prostrate themselves, along with thousands of other pilgrims like themselves, on the holiest places in Christianity. Holy Land Treasure exists in order to give pilgrims a chance to touch holiness, along with a journey to the Holy Land's historical past, emerging between the Knights Halls and Acre, the pictorial ruins of Caesarea, the winding streets of Jaffa Harbor, and the impressive palaces on the top of Masada rising over the golden desert. Besides the spiritual journey, Holy Land Treasures enriches the tourist experience with the breathtaking views of the land of Israel via a journey through time to the Stalactites Cave in the Jerusalem Mountains, which is millions of years old. a dip in the Dead Sea, the lowest place on earth, bestowing health and serenity. Looking out from the top of Mount Carmel, over the Baha'i Gardens, flowing down towards the impressive Haifa port, a visit to the Tel Aviv Promenade, one of the 10 most beautiful promenades in Europe, flanked by the Jaffa Harbor on one side and the Tel Aviv Harbor on the other, two of the leading recreational and nightlife centers in Israel today. And of course, getting to know the most vibrant and southern city in Israel, Eilat, located on the shores of the Red Sea and the home of some of the most beautiful coral reefs in the world. There is no doubt that visiting the Holy Land with Holy Land Treasure will provide tourists with unforgettable spiritual, emotional, and mental experiences. A once-in-a-lifetime experience.